Welcome back. It's time now to take a look at the top business stories. Utilities deliver affecting property handovers in Northern Emirates. Etisalat same deal deadline extended. And we find out how to profitably invest in art. The GCC markets ended in negative territory today, and the UAE bourses ended mixed. The DFM was down over 0.5% to close at the 1,609 mark. In the property sector, EMA Properties lost 1.2% and Arab Tech fell by over 1.5%. Emirates NBD rose by 0.3%, while Dubai Islamic Bank lost nearly 0.5%. DP World dropped 0.75%. DO, on the other hand, was up 0.3%. Air Arabia fell 0.4% after a rise in yesterday's trading off the back of speculation that the company will maintain a good dividend payment this year. 45 million shares were traded, valued at 74 million dirhams. And over in the capital, the ADX gained over 0.25% to close at 2,683 points. Abu Dhabi Commercial Bank fell by over 2.75%, while Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank rose by 0.3%. In the property sector, Alda Properties was down by nearly 1.5%, and Sura Real Estate dropped over 0.5%. Etisalat gained nearly 1%, and 34 million shares were traded, valued at 67 million dirhams. And to talk about the markets this week, we're now joined by financial analyst Bruce Powers. Hi, Bruce. How are you?
Good to be here.
We had news out today that China in the fourth quarter grew by 9.8%, quite a large number, larger than expected. That again heated up concerns over inflation rising, over the economy overheating too much. And, of course, policymakers might increase rates. Bit of uncertainty there. How did that play into the market today?
Well, the growth in China has been high for quite some time. What spooked investors a little bit in this report was that it came in higher than economist estimates of 9.4%. And markets don't like surprises, so they responded with declines. Shanghai was down almost 3% today, and Hang Seng was down 1.7%, and the Nikkei was down 1.1%. Now, these are not really significant declines and only a one-day reaction, particularly in Hong Kong and Japan. So those markets are still in a bullish trend, so I would expect that to continue until proven otherwise. The Shanghai index, though, is a little bit in shakier territory. It's kind of a bit on a downtrend already, so if selling does come back into the Asian markets, I would expect a faster and more aggressive selling, again in Shanghai as we saw today.
Let's talk currencies. The euro dipped a tiny bit this morning, but the upward trend is still there, analysts say. What do you think are the largest threats to the single currency at the moment? We saw positive bond auctions from Spain and Portugal. What do you believe? The euro in the near future?
Well, the debt crisis is not over in the Eurozone. There's still a lot of risk, particularly in regards to ratings, potential of ratings downgrades for many of the European countries. And that's very likely to happen. So that's one area that I would watch. And this is going to make rates higher for the riskier countries for any new debt issues that they come out with. So this also is going to impact the credit markets as a whole. It'll increase the perception of risk and therefore interest rates in the credit market as a whole. So overall rates are still on an upward trend and therefore still a concern, and the Eurozone still a concern, although the immediate near-term concern is diminished a little bit.
Okay, very good. Let's turn our attention to the UAE equity markets. We heard this week that Nasdaq Dubai wants to loosen the rules and regulations for small and mid-sized companies to go public on the one hand, and also attracting more retail investors. These steps, do you think they will in fact attract more IPOs and, on the other hand, more retail investors?
Well, the exchange needs to do everything that it can to get more listings and more traders into the market. And so this is certainly a move in the right direction. I wouldn't expect a rush to IPOs, though, if this goes through. The benefits will be seen over time. Now, this is one of the things the exchange can have an impact on in order to attract IPOs, is to change their own rules. What it can't do is change the overall market environment and investor sentiment, which is the other part of the equation, because you need to have demand for IPOs and you need to have demand for trading. So this is all they really can do, and this is a big benefit because it will expand their pool of potential IPO candidates in order to increase the listings, which will drive investors and traders to the exchange.
Thank you for coming in today. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Real estate developments in northern areas of the UAE are being stalled by a lack of utilities expanding. A recent report has revealed the slow growth of water and sewage connections by utility companies are having a negative impact on completed units waiting on these connections for final handovers. Analysts say this is particularly so in areas such as Sharjah, Fujairah, Ras Al Khaimah and Ahman. Experts also say although property prices remained consistent last year, these delays could affect the market this year. The deadline for telecom operator Etisalat's proposed $12 billion bid for a 46% stake in Zain has been extended to the end of this month. The company missed its last deadline on the 15th of January due to uncertainty throughout investors who had not shown full support of the takeover. Etisalat said the deadline had not been reached as yet due to unforeseen delays. Dalmak Properties, Dubai's biggest private real estate developer, has announced that it has no plans for future projects in the Emirate. Managing Director Said Al-Char has told local newspapers that they will be concentrating on construction and handovers for now. Last November, the company pledged to hand over 4,000 units in the first half of this year, which will be its main focus. Even though there is an oversupply in the real estate market and prices are on a decline, Al-Char is optimistic about the future of real estate in Dubai for this year. And in our fast financial news, 1 in 5 customers is unhappy with his banking service. A recent report released by Ernst & Young, surveying 4,000 people, reveals the main reasons being the failure of a specific service as well as poor customer service. This was then followed by slow transactions, where 1 in 5 said access to Sharia-compliant services would make them switch loyalties. Emirates Airlines and Austrian carrier Niki are in talks about a cooperation agreement where Emirates would be given a regional partner to handle passengers arriving in the capital of Austria. Austrian CEO Niki Lauda has said the more flights we offer from Vienna, the more ideal the connections are to and from Dubai. Vienna is currently a final destination and there are no partner companies at present. Etihad and Emirates Airline officials say they will not be affected by French-German company Airbus' decision to increase the average price for carriers by 4.4%. The company announced the price rise will affect all new aircraft except the A380, which price has already been increased by 8.4%. And after the break, we talk to Sosi Dikijian about how to invest in art and thereby making a profit.